Fantastic, right? So let's get straight into it, guys. So as I said, this presentation is going to be max 40 minutes, probably more likely 30 minutes. We're then going to have some Q&A at the end. And I'll just pause occasionally just to make sure that you can all still see my screen and to see if you've got any questions or if there's any problems. So obviously, as I've sent in my emails, this presentation is all about how to outrank the competition, and particularly with Squarespace, which I know there's so many questions about. And I'm going to cut through the fat to speak about what actually works with SEO. And what we're actually going to be covering, we're going to go through, first of all, SEO Essentials, just to make sure we're always on the same page. I always go through that stuff because I know there's so much misinformation about SEO. So we'll be going through SEO Essentials. I'll then show you a competitor analysis that actually works and show you the framework and processes that I go through at my agency at SEOSpace to get results. I'll then take you through how to beat the competition and what you actually need to do before giving you a number one takeaway. And I'll then also quickly take you through what's coming soon at SEOSpace. We've got some exciting things that we're going to be re-releasing before then doing a live Q&A. And I've got plenty of time, so please feel free. There's the Q&A chat on the right-hand side. Go through, add any of your questions, do upvotes, and then I will take you through. I'll go through that at the end to go through there. But make sure you please upvote rather than just putting the question in. Make sure, check to see if someone's asked your questions first of all. So getting straight into it. Of course, many of you already know me through SEOSpace, but just a bit of background. So I've been in SEO now for about 4 years, and I've also got an SEO agency before starting SEOSpace. We do some really cool stuff, like a client of mine in the top left. We've ranked them position 1 in the US for self-storage business. So we beat about 50,000 businesses to get to that top spot. I also do Squarespace SEO on YouTube. So I share tips. This video will be recorded and it will go live on my YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss that. And then I also run a travel blog with my girlfriend, which is the one in the top right. That blog was on Squarespace, and it's one of the reasons I came up with the idea for SEOSpace as well. And I get to do some really cool things off the back of SEO. I get to do webinars like this, which I really love doing. I also got that villa in the bottom right. It was $1,000 a night villa in Bali that we got for free through the travel blog. So I've got to do some really cool stuff. But obviously, one of the main reasons why you guys are interested and why you guys are here is SEOSpace. And I believe we found the most efficient, cost-effective ways in order to drive traffic to Squarespace websites, and we do it just for Squarespace. And that plugin is actually today we've hit over 1,100 businesses using our plugin. So I don't think there's anyone else in the world, apart from maybe Squarespace themselves, that's learning faster about how to get Squarespace websites on page 1 of Google, because we're learning every day. We're gaining a lot of data and we're developing our understanding. And we also have a done for you service. So if you don't want to do your SEO yourself, we can do your SEO for you. And just a heads up, how I actually approach these sessions, I give away all of my knowledge for free. I do webinars like this. I do YouTube. I don't hold back. And the process that I'm actually going to show you is exactly what we do during the SEO services at my agency at SEOSpace. So it's exactly what to do. So if you haven't watched my YouTube channels, my YouTube videos, you'll soon find out that I literally tell you exactly what to do. I don't hold anything back, and particularly because some of your competitors might be on this call, I would make sure that you're paying attention, because I know there's a lot of web designers that are probably here. So make sure you take notes, make sure you drop any questions in the Q&A, upvote if it's already been asked. And as I said, it will be recorded. So you'll be able to go back and you'll be able to learn from what I'm going through in this presentation to beat the competition. So what this session isn't, I'm not here to convince anyone around the power of SEO. Hopefully, because you're here, you know SEO has value for your business and you know that you need to do it. You just maybe don't know how, you don't know what the processes are. That's why I do these webinars. I'm not here to convince anyone about SEO. And we do know there's a lot of jargon out there, so I'm just going to quickly go through some SEO essentials to make sure that we're all on the same page, because some of these terms are going to be talking about later in the presentation. So SEO, search engine optimization, is the process of improving our website to appear higher on search engines. And I always break it down into three areas. We have keyword optimization, which is the process of finding keywords and improving our website to rank higher for said keywords. These keywords obviously want to be keywords that target customers search for in Google. We then have technical optimization, which is the process of ensuring your website follows SEO best practices in order to be readable by humans and, more importantly, especially for getting on search engines, by Google. We then have backlinks, which is sometimes called off-page SEO, which essentially just links from other websites to yours. If we have more high quality backlinks from relevant websites, we increase something called our domain authority. And this is really important. We're going to be talking about this a lot in this presentation. But domain authority is essentially a score given to your website that essentially it's how much of an authority you are in the space. If you have a higher domain authority, then you're more likely to rank for competitive terms. And I always explain SEO like a car. You know, SEO is the vehicle that allows us to get to our end destination, which is page one of Google. Keyword optimization is a little bit like mapping out your route. It's deciding where you want to go, picking the keywords, and deciding the route that you want to eventually, navigate to get to page one. Technical optimization is making sure your engine or your website is finely tuned, everything is in place, and you can actually get to your destination, i.e. page one. And backlinks is like the fuel that starts your engine and powers you to the end destination. So those are the fundamentals, but most importantly, I want you guys to remember domain authority and what that means. So yeah, let's get into the stuff that I know you guys are here for, how to outrank the competition with Squarespace. So is it possible? What are the things that you need to do with Squarespace? Yeah, first of all, it is 100% possible. Squarespace gets a lot of slack. A lot of people say it's bad for SEO, it's not good for SEO. Ahrefs actually released a study revealing that only 15% of Squarespace domains get organic traffic. In my opinion, and from what I've seen, as I said, we've got over 1,100 businesses using our software right now. So we've got a pretty good understanding of what it takes to get on page one. One of the biggest things that is causing this is a lack of education. Really, before SEOSpace, there wasn't that much helpful Squarespace SEO information out there on the internet. There wasn't even a Squarespace SEO plugin. So for me, it's around education. And I believe that Squarespace is better than for 95% of people because of how easy it is to use. Because at the end of the day, there's no point having a platform like WordPress if you can't actually use it, it gets hacked, etc. So let's put that aside. You can rank above your competition with Squarespace, and these are the steps that I'm going to take you through exactly how to do it. So first of all, it comes down to competitor analysis. And the 4 steps are, first of all, finding the right keywords, and I'll tell you what that means. Then we've got to find the right competitors. Then we've got to build what we just call a page requirements doc or brief, which again, I'm going to show you how to build one of those. And then the 4th one won't come to a surprise. We've then got to create amazing content with better on-page SEO using the knowledge that we gain in steps 1, 2, and 3. So I'll just check. Yeah, hopefully you guys can all hear me. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. So step 1, finding the right keywords. So the right keywords are keywords that attract target customers at every stage of the buyer journey. And the graphic on the right is something that I just think is so valuable, because only 10% of our target customers are willing to buy from us at any given period. We've got that whole 90%, those people on the bottom who are either not interested in your company, do not have a need but aren't ready to act. We've got 90% of your target customers that aren't ready to do anything, aren't ready to work with you. So the right keywords not only attract people at the top of that pyramid, they also attract people at the bottom. So, a lot of people that I speak to, especially clients, they don't always like this because they always want to attract that top 10%. They don't necessarily want to do SEO that focus on that bottom 9%. But if we don't target those keywords, we're missing out on such a big base of our customers, and we actually don't build the foundations of SEO at all, because in order to get that top, you've got to have a solid base. So we've got to make sure that we find the right keywords. And exactly how we find them. Step one, always speak to target customers. Ask them what problems they have outside of the ones including, but also outside of the ones that you solve. What other options did they consider before they decided to work with you? So ask them these questions, note it down, continue digging to learn more and more, and also ask them what their goals are for their life, for their business, because again, that allows you to start understanding what are people searching for on Google if they're in this top 10% and this 30, 30, 30. So it allows you to build a picture of the keywords you should be targeting on Google, i.e. the right keywords. Then what I want you to use is keywords everywhere. I talk a lot about this. They have just changed their pricing plans, but it's a very inexpensive SEO tool that allows you to do keyword research very, very easy. So speak to target customers, find what they search, the problems that they have, and then use keywords everywhere to back that up with data. And don't worry, because I am going to give you an example, and then see what competitors rank for. That is a little bit tricky if you don't have tools like Ahrefs. However, if you just drop a message in the SEOSpace community, just ask me to, if you give me a list of your competitors, I will respond with a list of what keywords they're ranked for. So that's one of the reasons that we made the community, because you guys aren't necessarily going to have the tools that we have access to. So we're more than happy to tell you what keywords your competitors rank for. But obviously, if you speak to target customers and use keywords everywhere, you're going to be able to learn most of what you need to know. So an example that I'm going to use now, and an example that I'm going to give later in the presentation, is actually a tree surgeon. So someone that I was speaking to someone who's actually on this call a couple of weeks ago, and she was asking me about a tree surgeon website. So tree surgeons are people that cut down and remove trees. So if you were that business, you would speak to your target customers to learn the pain points that they have. So what problems do they have? What options do they consider? And then you would use keywords everywhere. Once you've got those list of terms and the list of problems, to start to get keywords. So for example, a target customer of a tree surgeon, they may be unsure whether they can have the trees in their garden removed in the first place. So they may just share a different screen. So a tree surgeon, their customers may be unsure whether they can cut down trees in their garden. Keywords everywhere will essentially, for whatever you type into Google, it's going to tell you how many people search for that per month and an estimate of the competition. And one thing that I really love about it, because obviously when you ask your target customers what they search for, you may not necessarily know if many people across the world search for that. But what I love about keywords everywhere, if we scroll down, it's going to show us related keywords. So all of a sudden, we can see what other keywords people search to that are related to this. So we can very easily, after doing customer research, start to build a list of keywords that our target customers search for, that we can optimize our website for. So for example, we can see here that 880 people search for what trees can be cut down without permission. So very easily can we translate that research that I was showing you here. We can very easily turn the research from target customers into a list of keywords. I'm not going to go into this in a lot of detail, because I'm hoping many of you will already know the keywords that you want to go after, because you know the competition that you want to try and beat, hence coming to this presentation. However, if you don't know how to do keyword research, I have an article on my on the SEOSpace website, and I also have lots of YouTube videos which will break this down in further detail. Just check, has everyone got me? Yeah. So now we know the keywords that we want to rank for. Now we found the keywords we want to rank for, we now need to find the right competitors. And the right competitors are those that rank with a low domain authority or a domain authority close to yours. So the right competitors are the ones that rank on page 1 of Google with a low domain authority. And the reason these are the right competitors and the ones that you should be looking to beat is because if they have a low domain authority, so if you remember back to the start of the presentation, we spoke about the 3 areas of SEO. If they have a low domain authority, it means that their score is low. They're not seen as an authority on Google. However, for whatever reason, they're still ranking on page 1, which must mean that the first 2 things we spoke about, their keyword optimization and technical optimization, must be very good. So we want to stop looking at the big names in the space. We want to be looking at the people that are ranking on page 1 of Google that have a low domain authority. Because if we can figure out why they're there, then we can start to make changes to our website that's going to be more likely to get us onto page 1. So I'm going to give you 2 examples here. Hopefully you can all, yeah. So I'm going to give you 2 examples. First of all, we're gonna do a Squarespace web designer example. Website designer. I know many of you are Squarespace website designers or web designers. So yeah, apologies for making this space a little bit more competitive. However, I feel this is an example that a lot of you will understand. So as I mentioned, you now know what keywords you want to rank for, or hopefully you know. You want to rank for Squarespace website designer. Maybe you're another service like tree surgeon near me, for example. So you know what you want to rank for. And if you don't, as I said, you've got other resources. What we now need to do is find the right competition. So when I scroll down, we've got all the Squarespace stuff. We can now see people on page 1. We've got Kirsten Martin at the bottom here, and other people. I am in the UK, so the results may be a little bit different to it if you're in the US. It'd be very, very easy to go straight down to Kirsten Martin because she's a well-known person in the space and sort of be curious. Kirsten Martin's a very well-established name. She's doing very well. Let's see what she's doing in order to rank on page 1 of Google. However, if you've got keywords everywhere installed, we can see that Kirsten's domain authority is around 30. The numbers vary depending on the tool that you use. However, you can see that her score is 30. So there'd really be not that much value to begin with looking at Kirsten's website and figuring out, what to change on yours. What I'm more interested, if we look, so Eleanor Stone's 7 out of 10 score, Jody 20. 7 out of 100, Jody 20 out of 100, and then we scroll up and we see Ruth. Ruth is ranking on page 1 of Google for Squarespace website designer in the UK, and her domain authority is 1. Which and Ruth, if you're on this call, apologies, or if you watch this video, apologies for picking on you here. But essentially, by the logic that we spoke about earlier, because she's got such a low domain authority, she literally got a domain authority of 1. We've got to assume that her on-page and technical SEO is bang on. And in fact, it's that good. She's ranking above Jody, who's got a score of 20, Kirsten, who's got a score of 30. So it's people like Ruth that we need to start seeing as our competitors because they're ranking on page 1 despite having a low authority. Of course, there's people ranking above her that we may want to look at. David and George has a domain authority of 7 and is still ranking well. So yeah, that's how we pick the right competitors. Another example is we're going to look at, my mum lives in Shrewsbury and she needs someone to chop her tree down. So she's going to be searching for tree surgeon Shrewsbury. So let's say you're a tree surgeon in Shrewsbury and you want to rank for this term. What we want to start doing is going through, okay, so that has a domain authority of 12. Woodpecker has a domain authority of 1. Then this one 9. Yell is there 72. Checker Trade 59. Shropshire Council 57. So the big thing that stuck out to me is this Woodpecker Shropshire is ranking page 1 for Tree Surgeon Shrewsbury with a domain authority of 1, and it's ranking above all these sites that have big domain authorities such as Yell, Checker Trade, etc. So these are the websites that we need to be analyzing. These are the competitors that we need to start doing analysis from, because there's no point doing analysis on Yell. Yell, of course, are going to rank on page 1. We need to start picking the right businesses, and this is one that I'm going to be analyzing. Oh, sorry, I don't think you guys could see. Screen is frozen. Still seeing web designers. Apologies, guys. I said there might be some technical difficulties. So just take you back through. So apologies. Hopefully you can see. Right, hopefully you can now see the right screen. Yeah, updated. Apologies. So Tree Surgeon Shrewsbury, just rewind, pretend that didn't happen. So as I said, we want to be looking on this page and we want to be looking for the right competitors. We scroll through, we see these different pages. We see that Woodpecker has a domain authority of 1, and then we see Yell has 72. So just back on the previous point, we need to be finding these websites that are ranking on page 1 of Google with a low authority, because those are the sites which must have good SEO, and I'll just relate back to it. Of course, Yell is going to be ranking on page 1 of Google, but we're never going to beat Yell. We're never going to have a website like theirs with a domain authority of 72. But very many of you on this call are going to have a domain authority above 1. So we need to start doing analysis on these competitors that are ranking on page 1 with a domain authority that's low, or lower than lower than your customers, lower than your website. And just to sort of take you back to reiterate. So just before we go to the next step, we are looking, the right competitors are the ones that don't have a lot of backlinks. Their domain authority isn't high, because we want to be looking at these, because if they have a low domain authority, but they're still ranking on page 1, it must mean that 1 and 2, these areas of SEO, the keyword optimization and technical optimization, must be very good, because otherwise they wouldn't be ranking on page 1. So step 1, find the right keywords, find what your target customers search for, back it up with data. Step 2, find the right competitors, which are those that rank on page 1 with a low domain authority, such as Roof. Apologies, Roof. Step 3 is then build what we call a page requirements doc. So all I want you to do is get up those list of competitors, get up the list of right competitors that are ranking on page 1 for terms that you want to rank for, and start to look at why these sites rank well. What makes those pages valuable? See if you can identify, start to compare why these websites are ranking on page 1 over bigger websites and over yourself or your customers. Yeah, Patrick, thanks Patrick has just sent in the chat the link to Keywords Everywhere. As I said, they have just changed their pricing plan, so it's a little bit more complicated, but that's a tool that I've been showing you around how to use, how to get domain authority and how to get data. We're on build a page requirements doc. So list out those competitors and start to build a document. It doesn't have to be super fancy. We just do a Google Doc and we start to take screenshots of the different elements of our competitors' pages that they have, that we identify might be a reason that Google is ranking them well. What page elements do they have? What's a website structure? What can you beat? You'll probably start to identify a pattern, and I am going to show you examples of what these websites are doing compared to you and compared to other websites that are ranking on page 1, that you can essentially steal and apply to your own website or your competitors' websites. So for example, looking at this website, you can see that the title is a list. You can see that they've added an author profile, social share links. You can even use the SEOSpace plugin if it's on a Squarespace site, or other tools to see what are their SEO descriptions, what's the content that they've used. You can start breaking down in quite a granular way what those websites have done that you don't do. Hopefully you're starting to, sort of see what we're doing here. We're now going to go back to an example. Hopefully now you can all see the page. And again, sorry, Ruth, if you are listening, but we are going to pick on you again. So Squarespace website designer. As I mentioned, we don't want to be looking at people like Kirsten, because Kirsten's got a fantastic brand. She's got a fantastic name. This isn't, it's going to take years for us to get to the position that Kirsten's in. So we want to be looking at people like Ruth. And we're going to want to go on the website. And if you are a Squarespace website designer, make sure you're taking notes. But of course, this can be applied to any niche. What I want to start doing is I want to start looking at her site and thinking, what has she got that I haven't got? So one of the big things that stands out is, first of all, the picture on the front is her. It's very her focused. The business is her name. She's got a photo on the front page. She has UK based Squarespace, and then got this changing, which obviously has designer. So she's got UK Squarespace designer. She's then got services that she offers. In fact, this is sort of services that she offers. She's then got a bit about her. So meet her, meet Ruth, which is a pattern that I see quite a lot across a lot of websites, especially in the web designer space, because a lot of it is about the personal brand. But yeah, there's some stuff about her. She's then got a downloadable guide. She's then got testimonials with names, testimonials with photos and the name of the business. She's then got portfolio content, social sharing links, a nice footer with a sitemap. These are small details, but as you can imagine, we can start going through, and we can go through Ruth's website. We can go through David and George, who's the top after any Squarespace site. And we can start to understand and start to build a list. I start to build that requirement document of what you need to put on your web page. We even go down to what's the word count, what's the length of the meta description, what's the length of the SEO title. You can go with really, really granular detail of what these websites are doing well to rank. And obviously this is the David and George one. This is very image heavy, which is quite surprising, but again, it doesn't really matter because it works. These are actually all of the niches that they work in. So again, it's starting, maybe that's telling us that Google wants to see lots of different niches that you work across, wants to see different services that you do. It wants to make sure that you've got testimonials, wants to make sure that you've got a proper sitemap with social media links. And we can do the exact same for the tree surgeon example. So Woodpecker Shropshire, they're ranking really well. They're ranking above businesses like Yell, and this is actually a Squarespace website. I know who built this. Extremely talented. And essentially, again, I'm doing the exact same. I'm looking and building a requirement stock to see what this web page is doing that I don't do and my client doesn't do, to start to understand what I can change on my website. And you don't have to look at this page. You can also go through the blogs. You can see a lot of different things. But one of the first things that hits me in the face is loads of reviews. A Google review widget here. They've got the certifications that they've got, the areas that they cover, all the different services that they have. I'd just start to be building bullet points on that document, listing out all the things that this site has, which is then going to be helpful because we're then going to be able to start making changes to our site. Again, lots of different reviews, read more reviews, a lot of social proof, a lot of first-hand images by the look of it. Again, reoccurring theme, meet Dave. So a lot of it is about the business owner or qualifications sitemap. That is how we start to build the page requirement stock. We go through, we list out the right competitors, the right for the right keywords, and we figure out what they're doing in order to rank on page one. What have they got that you haven't? You don't only do it on the page that ranks, you also do it across the website. You look at things like internal linking. You start to just build up a list of actionable things that you can change on your website in order to rank higher. What we do off the back of that, of course, we've got our brief. It's then about creating amazing content with better on-page technical SEO, on-page SEO, so keyword optimization and technical optimization based upon the list that we've built. That's obviously where SEOSpace comes in. It's going to help you with that on-page piece, but there's a reason why I do these webinars. There's a reason why I have the resources. SEO cannot be fixed by one tool. There's a bigger picture that you need to make sure that you're addressing. However, that's exactly what we do at SEOSpace with our Done For You service. We'll build that page, that requirement stock for each one of your pages. We'll then add the sections onto your website and then go through with our SEO plugin to optimize the web page. I do actually have other content about the SEOSpace pyramid. It's a framework that I actually use when building sites, and it's about how we build topical authority, add keyword clusters. And don't worry if those are terms that you don't know, because as I've already mentioned, I've got loads of content already about these steps, which I'm not going to be going into in this presentation because it would just be too much. We're already getting to almost 40 minutes. But we build the requirement doc, we make the changes, and we start applying these frameworks because they're proven to work. It's what we do on a day-by-day basis, and it's how you're going to ultimately get your Squarespace website above the competition. Also, make sure you don't forget blog content. If we look at Successful People on the left, that is a client that we've been working with for a while. When we started with their site, they were getting about 10 inbound leads per month. They now get over 135 inbound leads per month. And that was primarily through blogging. Blogging is really important. Amari, that image in the bottom right is Amari's traffic and how it's grown sort of since 2015. You can see it's very, very slow and steady, but that has ultimately come through blogging, following the processes. He's a very knowledgeable guy, he knows what he's doing, and making sure that he's building in those frameworks that I speak about in these presentations. And actually my next webinar is with Amari. So if you want to learn how he's done that sort of stuff and listen to me and him talk about SEO, then I'll be advertising that in the next week or so. So and then number one takeaway, something that I wanted to make sure that I take you guys through before we leave is SEO takes time. Do not expect to build the requirement doc, make the changes, and see results straight away. If you have a more mature website, some people can see results straight away because you're identifying things that web pages that are ranking well have that you don't, and you can see an instant change. However, in general, SEO does take time. That full transparency, that site there in the bottom, that is my website. That is SEOSpace's site. And you can see we only launched the site, 5 months ago, maybe, something like that, as in started putting content on it. And you can see that it's a very slow and steady progress to increase the rankings, to get more traffic, but it is worth it. I'm spending a lot of money and a lot of time to do this. And I've just told you for free, effectively, what we're doing in order to rank higher on Google and eventually beat the competition. So it takes time, chip away, make these changes, and make sure you're then doing a little bit and often with SEO. And of course, it is hard. That is one of the reasons that we have SEOSpace. That's one of the reasons that I put so much time and effort into these presentations. We're currently actually working on a 7-day free trial. So very soon you're going to be able to do a free trial of our paid plans. We're actually, after a lot of requests, we're going to be developing a site-wide scan/audit. So you're going to be able to press a button and SEOSpace will do an audit on every single page on your website. You can then go page by page, add keywords, and get advanced suggestions. But we're currently working on our site-wide scan and audit, and then also giving you from within the plugin a bullet-pointed, personalized list of recommendations, such as we'll tell you which pages aren't showing up on Google, which pages aren't being indexed, And again, we'll be adding more and more tutorials along the way so that you can actually make the changes off the back of the recommendations. So yeah, site-wide is coming soon. I can see that Ellie's excited for that. We're getting there slowly but surely. But yeah, site-wide is going to be coming soon. And yeah, SEOSpace is here to help. We obviously have our plugin. We've got a free plan. We do free webinars for a reason, because it is fantastically helpful, and we believe that Squarespace needs this knowledge. We do also have a done for you service. So we have a service where we literally do everything that I've shown you step by step on your website, completely hands off. You don't have to do anything. We do it for you. And for those website designers on the call, you can actually earn $100 to $230 one time. For every client that you refer to us for one of our one-off packages. So if you don't necessarily want the service for yourself, you don't want to offer SEO, you can just refer clients directly to us and earn money for every referral. The packages that we have, our fundamentals is the most popular one. Essentially, the process that I've just taken you through. We will do that for 6 pages on your website. We'll break down what the competitors are doing that you need to do. We'll add that to your website, and then we'll also rewrite all of the pages in order to be fully SEO optimized and ultimately beat the competition. And we also, as a bonus on the fundamentals, we write 3 articles on your website as well. We also have the Essentials plan, where we do everything for 3 pages, set up your local SEO, completely done for you service. And then we also offer a custom offer. So if you want a little bit more, if you want something a little bit different, you can book in a call directly with me and we can chat to see if we're a fit to work together. But yeah, there you are, guys. That is how to beat the competition, how to do competitor analysis, how to build that recommendation doc, and ultimately start to climb up the rankings. Thanks a lot for taking the time. As I said, this webinar is going to be shared on my YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just Henry Purchase to see that coming very soon. And if you have any questions, if you want to, obviously, as I mentioned, we have the Q&A chat in the right-hand side. In the right-hand side, add your questions in there, upvote, etc. Because I'm going to be going through those in a second. I also just saw Alistair said, are you going to be offer reporting? Apologies, I forgot to mention that. Not only are we going to have the site-wide scan in SEOSpace, we're also going to have reporting. So we have our DIY plan, we have our pro plan, which used to be called the agency plan. We are at some point going to be removing the free plan because we're adding a free trial to our paid plans and adding a new agency plan, which will have reporting built into it. So you'll be able to create a white labeled report with your logo in. I'm revealing some sort of medium to long-term plans at SEOSpace there, but yeah, thanks for asking, Alistair. We've got some exciting things coming. So yeah, that is everything for the presentation. I'll stop sharing. I am going to go through the Q&A now, but I have just dropped a link in the chat, which is actually to review SEOSpace. So if you wouldn't mind leaving SEOSpace a Google review off the back of using our plugin in this presentation, that would be amazing. Thank you. Just click through there and leave a review. Feel free to do it after if needed. And I'm just going to have a drink of water, and then we're going to go through the Q&A. So make sure you're dropping any questions that you have into the Q&A panel on the right hand side. It's the one underneath the chat. Make sure you upvote, etc. Alan, I've seen that you asked a question about page speed. Please add those into the Q&A slot on the right hand side, and I'll get to those. And of course, thank you to everyone who does leave a review. I really appreciate it. So yeah, let's get into the Q&As. Lucy, hi Lucy. Is it worth trying to rank for a keyword when you know for certain you won't get the top spot? So really good question. I think, first of all, it depends upon the keyword. Feel free to, I think I might know the keyword you're talking about, but it does depend upon the keyword. As we mentioned, those commercial keywords, those ones at the top of the pyramid that we spoke about, they are going to be more competitive. And that's why I'm so big and bullish on the whole pyramid. 90% of your target customers aren't actually looking for what you offer right now. So if you can't get to the top spot on something, then aim for the other keywords. One thing also to remember, that you don't necessarily have to be on the top spot to earn a lot of money from SEO. If you look at Squarespace Web Designer in the UK, well, globally, 1,600 people search for that per month. So position 1 gets about 40% of those, and then it gets less and less and less. But position 5 is still going to be getting clicks for Squarespace Website Designer. And if you're charging a decent amount for your website builds, it can still be very profitable to rank on position 5, 6, 7 on page 1 of Google. So whilst you may be worried because you can't necessarily get onto position 1 for a keyword, that doesn't really matter, because you can still, with the right keywords, earn a decent amount of money from being position 5, 6, 7. Of course, you want the top spot. Sometimes, if you're looking, it depends upon the time frame. Like, if you're looking and thinking, well, in 5 to 10 years, you're still going to be a Squarespace website designer, then I wouldn't be deterred. I would just build a longer term strategy in order to take that top spot. So sometimes it's worth it, depends upon the time frame. You can still earn money from not being position 1. If you're on page 1, you're still going to earn money for certain terms. And of course, make sure you're looking at the bottom of the pyramid for that 90% of customers that aren't looking right now. So then we've got Laurel. Sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. What are some tips for using SEOSpace in my workflow when I design websites for clients? Well, actually, yesterday I recorded a video, and it's how Squarespace website designers can make more money using SEOSpace. So I actually have a whole video coming out on this topic, about how you can use SEOSpace in your design workflow for clients. But in short, there's 3 ways. There's during the website build. So by using the SEOSpace pyramid, by building your site in an SEO friendly way, in terms of the structure, you're going to be able to charge more for your services. You've then got the search engine optimization. So using SEOSpace on every single page. So making sure that when the website goes live, because on the pro plan, you can use SEOSpace on draft and password protected websites. So when the website goes live, it's SEO friendly. And then there's offering ongoing services. So that can be writing blogs, ongoing optimization, maintenance, etc., etc. I've got a whole YouTube video coming out on that very soon. So yeah, feel free to watch that and let me know if you've got any questions. Is it best to, so we've got Patrick, is it best to rank your website for the country you're living in, or is it best to rank globally? Well, Patrick, I know you're in Thailand, so I'd definitely say it's going to be better to rank globally rather than Thailand, because I don't think the search volume for Squarespace Website Designer is too high in Thailand. It's just always based upon data. So you've always got to be looking, where's the data? Where's the right balance of search volume versus competition? Ideally, you want to be going for niches when you first start out with SEO that have a decent search volume with a lower competition. And SEOSpace does that for you. So maybe do different scans for different areas. Try Thailand, try the US, try globally, try the UK, try different areas and see where is that mix between search volume and competition. And yeah, that process that I showed you can work for anywhere, by the way, because just get a VPN and you can change your VPN and search the search terms you want to rank for in different geographies to build that guideline doc. Then we've got Jessica. What is a reasonable domain authority to shoot for? Sorry, it depends. It depends, what is your timeline? How long do you want to be doing this for? How much time and effort have you got in order to improve your domain authority? I don't know what you do, Jessica. I'm just checking the chat. I don't know what you do, Jessica, but if you're a designer, for example, there are certain tips and tricks that you can do in order to boost your domain authority. It really depends. The SEOSpace domain authority is like 33, and we launched the website 5 months ago, so we've grown pretty quick. But in some niches, you can have a domain authority of 10 and still rank very well. So if you have any questions, if you're in the SEOSpace community, feel free to just message me and I'll let you know for your specific niche. Now we have Megan, a bit Squarespace specific, but if you use a summary block in your post to show related posts on your site, does Google see those as internal links, or do you need to use text-based links to count for internal links? So I'm pretty sure on this. I'm not, like, my knowledge doesn't cover all areas of technical SEO. It's why I have a really talented team. But an internal link is counted as any link that is between the header and footer of your website. So summary blocks will be counted. The only ones that don't count as internal links are in the header or footer. So SEOSpace, when it checks for internal links, it checks between the header and footer. So in the body of your website, if there's a link there, it's classed as an internal link. However, the team will let me know on that. But I'm pretty confident. So we've then got Jai. Hi Jai, can you use SEOSpace to show you backlinks? So no, SEOSpace doesn't do that yet. SEOSpace only works on Squarespace websites. So no, you can't, which is why I've recommend using keywords everywhere. However, if you're also in our community and you want to know like what backlinks, what domain authorities my competitors have, just drop me a message and I'll get that for you. But no, SEOSpace doesn't do that yet. However, it is something that we're looking into. So now I've got Anna. How would you set up your pages, in particular homepage, with keywords for a multi-niche website where you're trying to target lots of different keywords? So what I would do for that, I wouldn't try and rank. In general, you want to have one group of keywords for each page. So you don't want to try and rank one keyword for a real broad set of keywords. It just doesn't work like that. It's not one keyword per page, but you want in general one main keyword per page and then related keywords that sort of are also optimized on that page. So if you have a multi-niche website, what I would recommend is almost having like service pages, different landing pages that are optimized for each niche. So let's say you're an e-commerce, you've got an e-commerce website. You wouldn't want to try and have your homepage rank for all the different categories of products that you have. You'd want to optimize the collection pages for each of those niches, because otherwise it just gets a little bit too complicated. You get a lot of crossover and it's really hard to nail your strategy and really be specific with what you're targeting. So yeah, and I can also so for example, look at the SEOSpace website. We have our homepage, and then we have our homepage, and then we have our plugin page, and they're very different. We don't try and rank our homepage for Squarespace SEO plugin because there'd be too much overlap. Even though Squarespace SEO Expert and Squarespace SEO plugin are related, they're still in different pages because we want to be really specific. So Anna, you also said that's super helpful. On the homepage, would you just use a very general keyword that doesn't matter too much as long as you have? So yes, pretty much I would do that. It's sometimes you may just want your homepage to be a landing page about your business, to rank for your business name, and you may not actually really want it for SEO, as in like you may not want to rank for specific commercial keywords. So like before I updated my homepage, the SEOSpace website homepage was literally just about like what we do. It's now a little bit more for SEO, but a lot of businesses, you can just do it, for general homepage and then specific landing pages. Jacqueline, how do you find and speak to target customers? So I'll try not to answer this in like other than just emailing them. And yeah, for me, I always try and be super creative. So if you're looking to speak to customers in general, always think outside the box in order to see what you can do in order to find them. So for example, I a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to speak to plugin SEO plugin users in the UK. I looked at their business name. I typed their business name into Google, got their business phone number, and called up 40 businesses in the UK to speak to them about their plugin experience. It was also a little bit of research, but in general, it was about their plugin experience. But I also did some sort of general research. So I always try and think outside the box, no matter what you do. It's the same with SEO. It's the same with SEO. It's the same with speaking to customers. At the end of the day, it's a very competitive market, no matter what you're doing. So always make sure that what you're doing is outside the box. I can't remember directly off the top of my head. I may butcher this, but from what I remember, you're doing web branding, web design and branding. I would go onto LinkedIn. I would get your target demographic, and I would send connection requests to 200 people, and in there introduce yourself and ask them if you can ask them a couple of questions to help with market research. So that's what I would do. But again, feel free to drop me a message if you've got a specific question. We are going over a little bit, guys. I have half an hour, so I'll continue answering your questions. We're just about to get to the hour, but feel free to carry on dropping your questions in the chat and I will get to them. Then we have Des. So, is it only for websites with English language? Also, can I subscribe for the monthly plan when I need to every now and then? If not, why should I pay for it every month? So no, the SEOSpace works for any language. We use data directly from Google, so you can use it in any language, and you can cancel or subscribe at any time. And if not, why should I pay for it every month? So you can cancel and subscribe every time. The reason why I would continue stay subscribed is so that you don't lose your data. We are building over time. We're learning about the keywords that you've ranked for. That's why we connect to Google Search Console, and we're improving the recommendations that we provide we release a new version every fortnight. So if you unsubscribe, we lose all of that data, and the recommendations that you get don't improve week on week. So that's one of the reasons you should stay subscribed. Of course, you can cancel at any time, but you're going to get less value from SEOSpace. Are you planning on doing a webinar on backlinks from Stacey? I'm not actually planning at the moment. However, if you go over to the SEO 101 course, so if you're on the DIY or Pro plan, so if you're on a paid plan for SEOSpace, you get access to an SEO 101 course that I have brought together. One of the modules in that is about getting backlinks. So I'm not planning on doing a webinar at the moment. However, I've already got like a 20-minute course about how to build backlinks. So that's what I would recommend, Stacey. So we've now got Alan. Can you do anything to improve Squarespace performance? Speed, which is a major issue on the platform. 100%, it is a major issue on the platform. And one thing that I can promise to you guys is we're going to be doing everything we can to I want to get to the point where Squarespace can't not notice us and can't not take what we see and what we hear from you guys seriously. So we're building up documents, we're building up a list of all the problems that we see with Squarespace SEO, because I know one day Squarespace is going to come and ask me for advice on how to improve the platform. One of the things that it really lacks at the moment is you can't do much to improve the page speed. You can reduce the amount of custom code, you can compress images, you can fix broken links, but there's not actually that much you can do. So unfortunately, Alan, there isn't too much you can do. However, I do have a video on my YouTube channel taking you through why Squarespace is slow and how to speed it up. Head to my YouTube channel. I also have a whole blog about it around what you can do, but it is one of the areas that Squarespace is limited. And we've got Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. How does Google view too long meta descriptions and titles? Is it bad if it gets truncated? If the most important info is in the first 160 characters. So what I would potentially say there, Caitlin, I know I answered your question on SEO titles. What I would say to you is if the most important information is in the first 160 characters and Google doesn't show the information after the 160, why include it in the meta description? If the important information is within the 160 characters, then I don't understand the reason of why you would have any more, because it doesn't follow best practices and no one's going to see it. So I would just recommend, like, Google isn't going to look at it, see, oh, you've got all this keywords and content in like characters 160 to 240, and then rank you higher. I would just do your best in order to keep your meta descriptions between 150 and 160 and include the important information and keywords, because Google isn't going to. Also, if your meta description doesn't follow formatting, it's less likely to show. So you may add a meta description and Google might pick text elsewhere on your page, on your web page, which happens quite a lot. So one of the ways to stop this is making sure that your meta description follows best practices. So it's bad in the sense that Google might not pick up the meta description and no one sees the extra text that you add. So hopefully that answers your question. Jacqueline, so you'd be looking to speak to Art Bio. So as I mentioned, I would feel free to drop me a message and I can specifically help you for that question. Apologies. I completely forgot about the niche that you were working in. But yeah, drop me an email and I can help you with that specific question. And Caitlin, 150 to 160 is so short. Yeah, unfortunately it is pretty short, but we actually have an AI meta description generator in the plugin, which will help you fit your keywords in and generate a meta description. We're actually updating it next Friday to be a little bit more helpful. Barbara, I rank #1 for Squarespace web design in my city with a DA of 10. So is it worth to try and improve domain authority? 100%. Increasing your domain authority increases the likelihood that you're going to rank and stay for certain search terms. So just because I spoke a lot about like looking at web pages that have a low domain authority, what I would do in your position, I would look to see the pages that rank under you that have a low domain authority, incorporate what they've done into your web page, and then continue building your domain authority, because it's going to make it harder for those people to rank above you. So 100% try and improve your domain authority. Apologies if I maybe sort of insinuated that, but you always also want to look to improve your domain authority. It's super, super important. But you also want to be looking at what people with a low domain authority that rank on page 1 are doing in order to improve further, cement your position. And well done for getting position 1 in your city. So Caitlin, so yeah, if you on the meta description, when it detects that there's something that you need to improve, you'll be able to generate a meta description with AI using the plugin. So yeah, everyone, that is all the questions. As I said, I've still got 25 minutes, so feel free to drop off if needed. If you have got any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Feel free to message if there's anything else you'd like me to go through. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for taking the time to jump on this. I really enjoy these. I really enjoy doing these. If you haven't already, I'll drop it back on the chat. But if you could please leave a review for SEOSpace. I'll drop it in the chat. So that's a link to review us on Google. If you could drop us a review, write your thoughts on SEOSpace, that would be super helpful. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing more in the future. I'll also drop in a link to my YouTube channel because I know that I referred to it a few times in this presentation. So that is a link to my YouTube channel. Above, there's a link to review us on Google. And yeah, thanks a lot, guys. If there's no questions, I'm going to drop off now. Giant, you froze up on the question about whether we can use the service as ongoing rather than the service as needed. Apologies if I froze up. So you can cancel the plugin at any time. You can subscribe, cancel. The reason why I would recommend staying subscribed is because when you cancel, you lose all of the data that we get when you connect your website to the plugin. And because we upload a new version, we update the plugin every 2 weeks. if you're not subscribed, we don't have access to the data and your rankings to improve the recommendations that we give to you. We're using AI, we're learning more and more about how to rank higher, how to rank Squarespace websites higher on Google. So if you cancel your account, we lose that data. We can't provide better recommendations to rank you higher up on Google. So you can cancel, you can subscribe at any time. We're releasing the free trial. We're making it as flexible as possible. However, if you unsubscribe, we don't have access to your website. We can't provide better recommendations for you. We've now got a question from Alistair. How long before you see results using SEOSpace? Again, I've got a video on my YouTube channel around how long does it take to get SEO results, and that is a really hard question to ask. It's sort of like, how long does it take to get stronger if you use weights in the gym? It completely depends. How well are you using the weights? What's the workout program that you're following? How often are you going to the gym? How well do you apply best practices? It really depends. Sorry to use a gym analogy. It's the first one that came to my head. But there's no tool in the world that you're going to be able to use once on your website and your SEO is going to improve and your rank on page 1 of Google. It just doesn't work like that. And I would be a snake oil salesman if I came to you guys and said, download the plugin, it's going to do everything that you need to get on page 1 of Google. It doesn't work like that. You need much more than a tool in order to rank. It's why I do these webinars. It's why I have a community. It's why I have a mini course about SEO. I have seen people get instant results using SEOSpace because they've been able to identify some serious flaws on the website. And there was actually a lady I spoke to last week called Jennifer, who found out using SEOSpace that she had, I think it was around 60 pages on a website that Google wasn't showing. So by using the plugin, within a month, she'll be able to get an extra 60 pages on a website on Google. So SEOSpace is very good at identifying things that you're doing wrong and low-hanging fruit to get an instant boost in your traffic. However, it's different for everyone. Some people it's going to take months. Some people it's going to happen instantly. And in fact, in August, I'm going to be releasing a report, not only investigating the most common things that people do wrong with Squarespace SEO, but I'm also going to be releasing a report on how SEOSpace users' traffic increased after using the plugin. So I'm going to be releasing the real data around how our users improve their web traffic. So very much depends. We're going to be releasing more data, but as I said, it's like going to the gym. How long do you see results from the gym? It really depends. But if you follow best practices and you regularly show up, you are going to get results. Can you drop a link to the YouTube video and blog you referred to about Squarespace performance issues? Caitlin, you are a legend. You are a legend. Yeah, you're a legend. Yeah, that is the video. And Lucy, are you happy to share the slides? Lucy, I'm going to share the whole presentation. So it'll be recorded, it'll be posted on my YouTube channel, and there's no reason why I can't share the slides as well. So if you just drop me an email, I'll reply with the Canva link with the presentation on. So I'm more than happy to share the slides. Yeah, guys, if you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in. Otherwise, I will. And as well, if you guys have any questions that you want to message me directly, if you're interested in our Done For You service, as I mentioned, it's info@SEOSpace to get in touch. There's also, what I was going to say, if you also have any feedback about the plugin, any problems, feel free to message me as well. As I mentioned, SEOSpace is still super new. We only launched to the public, I think it was coming up to 4 months ago, less than 4 months, 3.5 months. So we're still very, very new. So if you've got any feedback, if there's anything at all that I can do for you, as I mentioned earlier, I'm the nutcase that will call 40 people in the UK to see how their plugin experience goes. I'm more than happy to go out of my way to listen to your feedback to improve SEOSpace. So that's probably what I'll leave on. If there's anything that I can do to help you guys, please drop me an email on info@SEOSpace. We're here for the long run. We're going to make this an absolutely incredible tool. There's plenty left to come. So thanks a lot for your time, everyone. and hopefully I'll either see you in the next webinar, see you at Circle Day if you go in there, and have a fantastic weekend. I am off to Italy to have a bit of a vacation. So thanks a lot, everyone, and I will see you all very soon.